Welcome back. While retailers prepare for Black Friday sales on stores, or in stores rather, online retail during this frenzy has seen much success. Last year, online platforms achieved the largest market share in the sale of goods as a result of Black Friday, and that's expected to increase this year. But if you're an online retailer, you won't get any of the Black Friday benefits unless you have impressive internet connections. For more on the value of high-speed connectivity for online retailers and how this has actually driven Black Friday sales, we're joined by Reshaad Sha, CEO of Liquid Telecom South Africa. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
It all sounds very strange to me how this is going to work in your favor in terms of online sales, because the reality is, we've spoken to experts, online retail is not that big in South Africa, but it gets kind of big during this time. Is that the reality?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you see quite a significant growth during this period because, of course, people are attracted to those specials that they want to get a hold of. And, of course, for the online retailer himself, he needs to have the ability to expand his infrastructure and services in order to service this high volume that he's not used to. So he needs to have a really flexible cloud capability that can be elastic. In other words, stretch as demand increases for the day and be able to service that requirement without having to install new servers for that matter.
Yeah, so how does it work? Because we're talking about smaller businesses here, because big stores, obviously, well, maybe they have things in order, I don't know, but they have a high influx of people during these times. How does a small business that's trying to get, you know, the money through Black Friday get a bigger bandwidth to allow for more people to surf its site?
Well, it really depends on what platforms those small businesses are running. And in many of those small businesses today run on cloud platforms that, to a large extent, is elastic and allows for that growth in capability on demand. But, of course, there are many small businesses that would be running off a little server sitting somewhere or hosted at an ISP that only has a certain amount of capability, and those are the ones that you see are highly impacted. They can only service a certain number of users concurrently, and that causes them a significant amount of headache.
Yeah. Let's talk about protecting consumers who purchase online. How does that happen more efficiently in South Africa? Because some still argue that we have a long way to go in terms of online sales.
I think in terms of the volume of people doing online shopping in South Africa, I think it is increasing significantly. In fact, Statista has put out some numbers not too long ago that over the next 3 years, we will have approximately 26.2 million online shoppers in South Africa. So that's a big number. If you think about versus our population size, that's close to 50% of people doing some form of an online transaction. Now, security, of course, is an important aspect, and I think that's again where the infrastructure and the service layer and the platform that the business runs on needs to be secure. And they can't do it by themselves. A small business can't afford the high security layers that are required to keep their customers secure, keep their customers' data secure, and to protect the transaction that's being processed across that network. So therefore, they need to rely on providers like ourselves who provide a complete capability for them, and whether that's using a Microsoft platform or a Amazon or Google platform that we then resell and host these customers on that platform, giving them everything from high-capacity internet to the elasticity that they require during times of high demand, as well as the security capability that you can only truly get from a well-established, mature platform.
Yeah. Is all of that affordable, though, for both retailers, businesses, and consumers?
Well, amazingly, small businesses and large businesses, the migration to cloud has increased rapidly over the last couple of years. And one of the key benefits of it is the economical benefit that accrues directly to those businesses. So it's become far more affordable today than it ever was before, and that trajectory will continue.
Yeah. So looking ahead, do we ultimately see South Africa where you have more people shopping online than in stores? Is there a large market for that going forward?
Well, it's dependent largely on, of course, the sophistication of the user as he becomes more familiar with connectivity, with internet, starting, of course, with social media. And then as he gets more familiar, he will go up in his maturity of what he does on the internet, with online shopping and e-commerce generally being, at the peak of that maturity level. So what drives that over a period of time is as more people get access to the internet, they start getting comfortable with it. And the more people that have access, the more sophisticated their use becomes before they eventually migrate to being able to use online shopping platforms. And we're seeing that trend.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. Appreciate it. That was Reshaad Sha, CEO of Liquid Telecom